I was junior year of high school, just finished. That August 6th, I was over, I wanted two of my friends. I heard all this thing about Martin Luther King Jr. I wanted to find out what this guy's about. Yeah. Knew my parents wouldn't let me go, so myself and two of my friends, we rode our bikes over there to Marquette Park. And we passed on 71st Street, the Nazi headquarters, which I never knew was there in all my life, because my parents would never ride down that street. Yeah. And 71st and Washtenaw, and then went into Marquette Park and got in there, and one friend kept the bikes, you know, to hold on to your bikes. Right. And then the two of us went over and waited for him to come in, and saw him come in. And it changed my life, because there was all this hate, there was all this anger and people screaming and racial slurs and trying to turn over cars, and it was horrible. I'd never seen that before. Right. And then here was Dr. King walking through this and just telling we're brothers and sisters. We're going to live together. And I thought, either this man is crazy or he has some kind of power I wanted to know about. And I became obsessed with him back in August '66.
Wow. And was at that moment you said you were going to go into the priesthood?
Well, I began to study him. I had a wall in my room, everything I cut out in papers, because there wasn't internet and there wasn't cell phones. Yeah. So I was at the library reading all his books. But what I realized about him is that everything he did was based on his faith. And he always considered himself a minister of the gospel, and that he did what he did because of faith. And he said, we must pass laws in the land in order to make desegregation, get rid of it, the voting rights come in and all the rest. He said, but a law can't change the heart, and faith has to change the heart. And so he was a man of the gospel that said, a faith community got to change the heart. So actually, I was going to leave senior year high school, go into college at Iowa University, and said, I'm going to go get my education and go work with a movement. And he gets killed. And my whole life said, now what do I do? And so I stayed in seminary and got ordained and said, I'm going to try to build a church that reflects the kind of church he talked about. And that's what we try to do at St. Sabina.
And not try, that's what you do at St. Sabina. And I think that's when we were talking, I'm like, there's only one person who doesn't just talk the talk, but you walk the walk. And I think that's something that the message that we want to make sure that people get today, because it's not just for today.
No, it's every day, and it's doing the service every day. We got to feed the hungry and clothe the naked. That's why we have an employment center. We have a social service center. We have a senior building. We have a youth center. We have a school. We have an apartment building for homeless and low income. We do all that, but it's more than just the charity. It's the justice, and that is dismantling the system to create poor people. The systems that allow, you know, what happened in the city of Chicago with the murder of Laquan McDonald. We have to dismantle the system that combat and continue racism and poverty and hunger and homelessness. I'm driving down here today, and here's all the, you know, tent city alongside of the Dan Ryan there, and I say that, and I say, shame on us. We were over there a couple of weeks ago meeting with the people and feeding the folks and talking to them. Shame on us in America in 2019 that people sleep under viaducts, sleep along the side of an expressway in tents, they sleep in abandoned buildings. Shame on us in this country. That shouldn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know we have a lot of problems in our country, in our city. We just recently had the sentencing of Jason Van Dyke. I wanted to know what your thoughts were about that, because a lot of people felt like there was a lot of injustice with that.
I was really hurt on Friday. I was hurt Thursday when those 3 officers got off and said, why? You know, and they say, well, mistakes are not lies. Please, don't insult me. Come on, they put the cover-up together. We didn't just say 16 shots. It was 16 shots and a cover-up. It was both. And then on Friday, you know, Monday of last week, a young man got 84 years for killing Hadia Pendleton, shooting into a crowd to kill her. Understood. I knew the Pendletons are dear friends of mine. I understand what happened, and I'm not mad at all about him getting that. But on Friday, a guy who's trained shoots 16 times into a body, and he gets 81 months? What the heck is that about? That's total injustice. And I think particularly when we work so hard, and so many young people work hard, to get that conviction. And then feel like, okay, finally, here's a turn in the road, things will be different. And then a judge comes in on Friday and says, oh, y'all think it's different? Let me show you.
Yeah. But so what do you tell your congregation on Sunday after Friday when you hear this, to keep them encouraged to, you know, or to change the laws? What message can you give folks? Because I told Ryan, I was a little baffled myself, because I thought Rod Blagojevich, this was the thing I heard on our station here in the coverage, Rod Blagojevich got 14 years for talking smack.
Right. And this guy gets
Jason Van
81 months.
Dyke,
And he'll be
yeah.
out in 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, what I try to tell the congregation yesterday is that we have to acknowledge the racism in this, the injustice in this. The fact that I didn't know, really, and I feel real stupid, I didn't know till Friday that aggravated battery carries more time than second-degree murder.
I didn't. We all learned something.
Are you kidding me? We got to change those laws. And we've got to change judges. Judges matter. Judges matter.
Judges' lives matter.
We got to change some judges in this city. We've got to find out. We should start with who is the 10 worst judges and make sure we know their names every single day and put them out. But we also got to understand you can't give up and you can't quit. We got to keep fighting. Dr. King got bruised after bruise, got fallback after fallback, but you get back up. What did Muhammad Ali say when he was kicked on the ground and laying on the mat? He says, champions, there's no place where a champion is on the floor. You get back up and you fight again. We've won some stuff. We got more to win. But you know what? I read the end of the book. Justice wins. Love wins. Hope wins. So truth
Michael
wins.
Pfleger, always great having you here.